And welcome back to another episode of DC Comics 101. Now, since if you're a fan of The Flash, you know that as of starting in January, it is the final season of The Flash. Now, and by the way, I'm a fan of I love The Flash. People mostly like Wally, but I'm a Barry guy. I like my Barry. I like my Barry Allen, man. Wally was his cool. I prefer him as Kid Flash. I'm just saying. But in this episode, we're gonna talk about why is Flashpoint so important. Now, once again, I'm reading this off the DC Comics website. This was done by Tim Beadle on October 3rd, 2016. So some of the things that I might say will be from around that time. We obviously know lots of things have happened with the Flash since then. You know, new characters like Godspeed, which I feel like the show haven't done that great with them, but I love the story of Godspeed and all that stuff. So like I said, this is like from at that time and stuff like that, because in a way, oh my god, the TV show kind of did their own version. I feel a kind of Flashpoint, but then obviously you know how a Flashpoint is. Barry fucked it up, and he has to go back, let his mother get killed. So basically, everything that he knew once was stays and stuff like that. But anyways, again, why is Flashpoint so important? All right, the Flash returns to the CW for I'm gonna change this now, 9th season because it's his 3rd in a couple months. But the premiere episode entitled, it says Flashpoint. Of course, as DC fans know, that title is reference to the 2011 miniseries of the same name, written by Jeff Johns and drawn by Andy Kubert. If you are a long-time reader or a devout of DC Comics fan, you likely know and understand the importance of Johns and Kubert's Flashpoint. But many fans of the Flash TV show may not be familiar with the character's comic book legacy, or may have just started reading DC Comics with the start of Rebirth. If that's you've likely heard a lot about Flashpoint, maybe wondering, what the hell is the big deal? After all, while Flashpoint has become a recent classic, its impact isn't quite at the level, let's say, Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I think is awesome. But it does come close, and its arrival on the CW show almost certainly meant that everything on the show was about to change. Now they showed the cover of Flashpoint. I don't know if this is like the graphic novel cover or the first issue cover. Looks so good. You got Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman in the background. Obviously, that's their Flashpoint counterparts. You got Barry running through with his suit just breaking down and stuff like that. But let's go. What is Flashpoint about? In the Flashpoint comic, Barry Allen wakes up powerless and living in a different, much darker world than the one he knows. Heroes are villains, villains are heroes. And worst of all, Themyscira and Atlantis are waging a brutal war with each other that has caused millions of deaths and is likely to bring about the end of the world. The one bright spot for Barry is that his mother is still alive, but even his joy at seeing her doesn't stop him from wanting to return to the world he knows. Without spoiling too many of the details, Barry eventually learns that he created this world when he went back in time and prevented his mother's murder, albeit with a little prodding from the Reverse Flash. Whether you intend to watch the Flash's premiere or not, you should read the Flashpoint comic. It's become a seminal part of Barry Allen's history and explains why a hero who can travel through time doesn't use that ability to solve present-day problems. But more than that, it's a fun, surprising story, packed that holds a surprising amount of importance to the world of DC Comics. Just how important is it? Well, now they show Barry looks like he's going back in time right here at different scenarios of things that happen. You see a little bit of Swamp Thing comic. Shoot, who the hell is that? I know who that is. I can't remember, not clicking on my head right now. But you see different iterations of all the heroes in different timelines. It says, I need to run back into the hell does that say? West Stream? It's literally what it says, West Stream. But I see 3 timelines. Why? Because the history of heroes was shattered into 3 long ago. Splintered to weaken your world for their impending arrival. You must all stand together. The timelines must become one again. You can help me fix that, Barry Allen, but at what cost? What was that? What did she say? Barry? You see and then you see also the current timeline. So the Flashpoint, it literally changed the DC universe. While Flashpoint works as a standalone story, it's probably best known as the miniseries that jump-started what became known as the New 52. Now, I don't mind the New 52, like that whole thing that they did. It wasn't bad. A lot of people hate it, but if you got a lot of new, I can't think of the word right now, new takes on current heroes, which heroes can't always be the same. They got to change up at some point, But again, I didn't mind it. In September 2011, DC Comics restarted every comic book in its main line at issue 1, each with a new continuity. While Rebirth now finds the heroes of the DC Universe question that continuity. Yeah, I read the Flash one, at least I read. Has brought in characters from prior to it. The New 52 is still the continuity of the DC Universe. In other words, in every continuity comic DC is currently publishing and has published over the past 5 years, in this point probably 10, essentially starts at Flashpoint. It's the book that started it all. But that's only one of the things that's relative things that I don't know why I'm trying to rush this. Things this relatively brief miniseries did. It established the Flash as one of DC Universe's most important heroes. That's right. The Flash is arguably the DC Universe's most important hero. Notice, I didn't say that he's DC Entertainment's most important hero. We'd have a hard time making the case that he's more popular or significant than Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, or any of his fellow Justice Leaguers. But to the DC Universe and the world these characters inhabit, he's extremely important. That's because Flashpoint cemented the Flash's role as someone who can affect change on the multiverse. For more now, if you want to read the multiverse, that's actually a good read to read. It'll kind of get you into everything that you need to know a little bit about the multiverse. But like I said, it says, be sure to check out this earlier DC Comics 101 article. Excuse me. The multiverse made its first appearance back in the Silver Age in The Flash number 123. Classic story, The Flash of Two Worlds, where Barry Allen met his Golden Age predecessor Jay Garrick for the first time. In Crisis on Infinite Earths, Barry Allen famously died saving the multiverse and remained dead in the pages of DC Comics for 23 years. He finally returned in 08's Final Crisis, in which he again played a key role in saving the multiverse. But most recently, the Flash has once again found himself in the center of the multiverse-related mystery in DC Universe Rebirth. Though this time, it's the recently returned Wally West leading the charge. Because Wally had disappeared during this whole Flashpoint situation and the whole New 52. So, yeah. The ability to travel through and impact the multiverse is largely unique to the Flash. Okay. Before any of you start protesting below in the comments, I did say largely. There are other characters who can journey through and alter the multiverse, but none of them have recognition or popularity of the Flash. Even more key, this ability is proving to be of massive importance to the article outside of comics. The Flash show acknowledged it when it introduced Earth 2, and made the alternate Earth a huge part of Season 2 in the Flash CW show. We'll likely have to wait a few years to know what role, if any, the multiverse will play in the DCEU. Nothing. We all know this. Nothing. But Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice seems to at least tease the possibility that we'll be seeing it, and that Barry Allen will once again prove to be the center of the whole thing. Yeah, nothing happened. We all know that. We know. We know. So yes, while Flashpoint didn't establish this connection, the Flash has with the multiverse. It reinforced it in a big way by establishing that he can actually create alternate Earths. And speaking of alternate Earths, it revisited Elseworlds style storytelling. Elseworlds was a line of comics that introduced alternate versions of well-known characters. Technically, The Dark Knight Returns is an Elseworlds book. It was a popular line of comics for many years, but it no longer exists, and up until Flashpoint, DC had largely gone away from that style of storytelling. Flashpoint did some really fun alternate world building, and Jeff Johns wasn't the only writer who got to participate. Along with the core miniseries, 20 different spin-offs were published at the same time. And some of these were pretty great as well. Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning, and Tony Bedard filled in some pretty crucial backstory on what just happened between Aquaman and Wonder Woman to bring their powerful civilizations to war. Scott Snyder teamed up with Lowell Francis to tell the Flashpoint Superman's frightening story. while Jeff Lemire wrote a great under-the-radar tale featuring Frankenstein. However, the most popular of the spin-offs features Flashpoint World's Batman, a character who also features heavily in the main story. Written and drawn by the 100 Bullets team of Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Riso, Batman Night of Vengeance is an Eisner-nominated story that stands alone as a dramatic, tense look at the destructive power of grief. It's highly recommended, and the less you know about it, the better. There are some pretty great twists in its 3 issues, so read it before someone spoils it for you. It's like the alternate world aspect of Flashpoint that has fans of the story the most excited about the Flash's decision to adapt it. However, producers of the show has said that their take is considerably different than that in the book. So you probably shouldn't expect to see any skinny Superman or clashing of Amazons. Could we see the heroic Citizen Cold? Well, no, well, we already know we did see Citizen Cold in this whole Flashpoint situation when they did it on the CW. Flashpoint launched a bold new era for DC, and the subsequent New 52 were unprecedented for a major comic book publisher. While relaunches and reboots aren't exactly rare in comics, never before had a publisher restarted its entire line of ongoing comics, some of which had started back in the 1930s and 40s. From ground zero with new issue number 1s, it got the industry's attention and revitalized DC's sales for years to come. While some longtime readers felt alienated by the move, losing years and years of story continuity they had been invested in, the New 52 did bring in new readers and launched creativity-daring new runs for characters like Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, written by Johns, Animal Man, and yes, The Flash. Wonder Woman's origin was changed, and her pantheon of supporting characters was reimagined. To much acclaim, Batman established Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo as one of the quintessential Dark Knight creative teams, yielding stories like The Court of Owls, phenomenal story, and The Death of the Family, ridiculously phenomenal story. Animal Man brought a family dynamic to the tale of horror and became the most relevant in it's been since Grant Morrison left the book. As for Aquaman, well, Johns made sure no one would see him as a joke ever again, producing some of the most vital Aquaman stories in the process. Taking an even broader view of it, Flashpoint and the New 52 would eventually go on to become the seed for a line-wide mystery that was revealed last couple springs ago in DC Universe Rebirth, a book that also launched a new slate of issue number 1s along with revitalized sales and storytelling. Even now, almost 8 to 10 years later, Flashpoint is continuing to surprise us. As I said earlier, if you haven't read Flashpoint, you should. The whole storyline is available in one graphic novel, though it doesn't include the spin-offs. The entire event is available digitally. The story was also adapted pretty faithfully into an animated movie called Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. Phenomenal movie. Even better, the entire event was on sale from 10/4 through 10/10 as part of a week-long Flashpoint Comics digital event sale. Time to the TV show's return. Do not click here to check it out because I don't have it. But yeah, so that is the Flashpoint. What do y'all think? The Flashpoint brought in a lot of, like I said, different adaptations of different characters and stuff like that. It restarted everything. The New 52, a lot of people, like I said, were not a fan of it. But again, you got a new version of Batman. You got a new version of Wonder Woman. Definitely, Aquaman was no punk no more. Like, they made Aquaman be like a boss now. Like, yo, I'm the king of the ocean. I shouldn't be treated as a joke, kind of thing, you know. And I believe that. I get it back in the woo, you know what I'm saying? The whole fish sound they used to do back in the old cartoon, the old Justice League cartoon. That there was I want to say 50s. No, not 50s. Sorry, like 70s, 80s maybe. But what do you think? Do you agree with? By the way, this is on DC's website. So either way, do you guys agree with DC Comics? Why is it so important? Obviously, we all know it's important. It has to be. But also, if y'all haven't read Crisis on Infinite Earths, y'all need to read that before reading Flashpoint, I feel. It'll kind of give you a better breakdown on it. And then after you read Flashpoint, read, what the hell? Final Crisis. Then after you read Final Crisis, then do the Rebirth stuff. But try to find it in I mean, if you like the issue, one by one issues, do that. But I suggest finding it in whole graphic novel forms. That way you can just do it in one sitting, you know. I feel it's better that way. That way, if I want to read the whole thing in one sitting without like stopping a comic or doing like that, I do it that way instead. But again, what do y'all think? Just, you know, hit me up. I want to give a shout out real quick to Good Pods community group on Facebook. Thank you for letting me in, I guess, so to speak. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know it was even an app, to be truthful. Because I don't have Apple. I know I can like put all my stuff, my podcast stuff, on Apple, but yeah, if there's comments, I wouldn't know. Excuse me. Or people said stuff to me, I wouldn't know. So I like this Good Pods. That's very cool. I also want to give a shout out to shit, I feel I'm gonna fuck this up. Chime in the hold on. I can't go away from I'm doing this on my phone, so if I go away I'm gonna lose it. But when I do an actual episode, I'm gonna make sure I put the name in. I know it's Chime in something. Go check them out. Also go check out our Wrestling World with Austin Boyer. Good dude. I like his stuff. Don't always agree with him, but I like his stuff. You always know. Check me out on Twitter. Not on Twitter, sorry. Twitch.tv/MelloFellowGaming. One word, no spaces. YouTube.com/MFG22. Hit me up on Facebook. Camilo Jose Feliciano. I need to bring up my fucking my freaking gaming page again. So that way we can separate the two, you know what I'm saying? Or hit me up on Good Pods. I'm not sure if there's a .com. I know it's an app though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, always and forever. One love, un amor, peace.